It took one news outlet to finally expose Larry Nassar. That inspired Rachel Wilson to reach out to the CMU newspaper on her sexual assault. Now her case is going to trial. Up next on Focal Point, this app and these arms help disabled people do simple tasks we tend to take for granted. That alone made numbers drop to 18.5%. As of now, 5,000 girls are enrolled nationally, which has increased membership to 0.4%. And here's why. On Sunday, this bar will be packed, but not for the Big Ten tournament. Instead, for American Idol. The small town of Dansville is home to one of the contestants. Good morning, I'm here in Lansing where Alyssa Slotkin donated her salary during the government shutdown. This morning, she hand-delivered it to the Alzheimer's Association. She said if Washington isn't doing their job, then they don't deserve to be paid. If you're like me, you can't start the day without a double tall, non-fat, skinny half-calf latte with a half-inch of foam. I am kidding, but I do work at Starbucks, so I have heard them all. Anyway, we all have our favorite coffee shop. Now you have another choice in East Lansing. We've all heard the line.
So we're really trying to not have
the news never sleeps.
A lot of ads.
Central Michigan Life is working on Monday's story. It's the one-year anniversary on a CMU student that shot and killed his parents.
Cool, thank you.
But while that's the story in there, this story starts here.
Emily Davis was our summer editor-in-chief. She walked into my office one day after receiving an email from a sexual assault survivor.
In 2016, Rachel Wilson claimed she was sexually assaulted by Central Michigan Student Body President Ian Elliott. In 2018, she hoped to receive justice.
A few weeks before the case was set to go to trial, it was dismissed by the prosecuting attorney's office due to a lack of evidence.
So Rachel found herself in CM Life's newsroom, her story in the hands of Emily Davis.
She had been let down by so many people, and I could see that when I talked to her.
Emily and Rachel worked on the story for 4 months, collecting almost everything.
Police reports, Oakley reports, court transcriptions, like just everything that had to do with her case.
On October 11th, 2018, the first article was published, and in less than a month later,
the Attorney General's office said that they were filing a motion to reinstate the charges against Ian Elliott.
And if it wasn't for Rachel trusting Emily,
she said, thank you so much for helping me find my voice again.
So yes, while the news never sleeps.
She was convinced that everyone in this situation was going to let her down, but we didn't, and that gave her hope again.
At least this case can be put to rest. Yeah. In Mount Pleasant, Kendall Ashman, Focal Point News.
My life was music, so naturally they followed suit.
So this was no surprise for Bill Moran.
5 years old, he was still tearing it up.
When his oldest son, Jacob, got the call.
I was in my last month of nursing school, so it wasn't ideal timing.
Tell me you love me.
That's when Jacob was discovered by American Idol. A nurse by night.
By the time I look up, it's 7:30 in the morning, so.
So he can dream during the day.
It's been crazy.
But this Sunday, he managed to get the night off.
I'll be in Dansville with my fellow hometown people, and we'll be watching the show, watching my audition.
Dansville population 565. It's a big deal.
Talk of Jacob, it's been growing like wildfire, really.
Ryan, the owner, thinks half the town will show up.
Yes, that's the only bar in Dansville, the one and only wooden nickel.
He's truly the talk of the town.
That's one thing, if you ask anybody about Jake, that's the first thing you're going to say. He's the nicest guy you'll ever meet.
Like father, like son.
I don't even sing after him anymore. So.
He's following suit.
It's kind of embarrassing.
In Dansville, Kendall Ashman, Focal Point News.
Very difficult to say when you can't do something.
Marla Acola is penciling in her daughter's future.
And morally straight. Thank you guys for sharing some space with us. We appreciate it.
Rewriting a tradition, if you will.
How many of you did the Scout Law? Scout Oath?
These girls, Troop 164, are making history. They're part of Scouts BSA, formerly known as Boy Scouts of America.
I think that's actually a really good idea.
And for Heather Coleman, the idea was as good as ever.
I've always wanted to be a Boy Scout ever since my brother joined Cub Scouts when I was like 6.
Her twin brother. Study after study shows that Boy Scout membership continues to fall. Some blame the LDS Church for leaving. That alone made numbers drop to 18.5%. As of now, 5,000 girls are enrolled nationally, which has increased membership to 0.4%. And here's why.
I wanted to do a bunch of camping, and the Girl Scouts don't tend to do that kind of stuff as much.
But Girl Scout representative Christian Schreider says that's a false narrative.
And the story is that, oh, they just do girl stuff, they do cooking, they do craft.
But to be clear, while girls are now part of Scouts, they still meet separately from the boys.
But if we fail to provide those spaces for girls, then we're not going to have those opportunities for girls to try new things without worrying about what other people are thinking.
But for Troop 164, the controversy is the least of their worries.
Any other ideas?
For now, it's French toast or waffles on this weekend's camping trip.
You know what? If we have French toast on Saturday, then we can have waffles on Sunday.
In Okemos, Kendall Ashman.
And we can use the syrup for both times.
Focal Point News.
There will be Saturday morning.